Season 6 Live Team Draw Part 2 is going to go live just now. Right, we are live.
Okay, right, I'll just make sure everyone knows that.
Yeah, make sure everyone knows that we're live before when we actually do go live.
Come back, I'm saying come back.
Exactly. Right.
I'm just going to say we just finished.
Right, let's just do right. Do you know what though? The whole hilarious thing is I now know exactly what it was.
Well, we knew all the time, didn't we?
Well, we did know all the time. What we were really doing, Martin, to be fair, is we were just testing our lovely drivers to see if they were actually paying attention to us. Tom Brown says the sound is much better, and the Glasgow gangster that is Marcus McCluskey, he said that Gav got a little echo but manageable. That's because you're in Missouri. Long and short of it.
We were just building tension, weren't we?
Well, we were.
Anticipation, you know.
Well, this is it, exactly. Anticipation to it, and we've got headphones in, folks, as well. So we've got headphones in. Do you know what? I am actually going to. I'm going to have a drink because
I've got a cup of cold tea in my Mr. Tickle mug.
There we go. So let's just see quickly before we'll let everybody join in. So what have we got? We've got Ballboy Brill. Alex says now it's only echo from your room. Oh, I can't do anything about that, Alex. I'm in a room. Oh, can I actually just make a point? I was saying on Discord about the Matteo Benotti glasses. There we go. I could be the Ferrari team manager easy if I had like messy hair and everything like that.
You look like my second year chemistry teacher.
I don't know whether to take that as an insult or not.
It's definitely an insult. He drove a mini moke, for God's sake.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, let's not go there. Right, what have we got? Right, let's just see. So Ollie says it's much better. Stuvine's gone nice. Alex has gone traitor, no iron brew. Well, there is iron brew down the stairs, but we're just having a slight night off. It's been one of those days. Apparently, I've been a little bit hyper in work, so hey-ho. Right, let's just we'll give it 1 minute and then we'll kick off just in terms of the live stream. And we've now figured out, so by the time season 7 comes, we'll have it sorted. He says. Whilst we're doing that though, I am just going to share the... I am hopeful that people will now see the document, which they do, which is fine, but I need to just scale it to window size. Yep, I just need to scale it to the window size and then we are all good.
Monster says you look like Harry Potter with those glasses on, by the way.
Monster is going to have, he's going to find himself in a Lola on his own. I mean, let's put it this way, Red Car last night was on his own. So, yeah, let's just do a scale to window. Right, okay. Everyone, and what I'll do is I'll Tom Brown's just went, the presentation's gone massif. It's the Glasgow Massive, folks, that's what it is. So let's just see. So Dan Booth says he's still going crazy with hearing things twice. We'll deal with that.
Well, I've got other people saying it sounds perfect, so
right.
That's confusing.
Right, DAC Convertible. Martin, kick him out. He's just said how to use present my screen. I may have to have words with the boy.
for it. Right, okay, so let's tell you exactly how we are going to do this, folks. Tiers 1, 2, and 3 will be announced tonight. You will have a scenario whereby each driver will be drawn at random, allocated into a team. We will do team by team. McLaren for Tier 2, then it might have Ferrari, but ultimately in Tier 1 it might be Williams, then Mercedes. So ultimately, this is all going to be at random. No one is going to know who they're part of until we fully announce all of the results. So the layout and the running order. We're going to start with Tier 2. We're then going to go to Tier 1, and then we are going to go to Tier 3. So obviously for those familiar, that is the running order that we have each week. Tier 4 have already been announced. They were announced last week after the Bahrain Invitational event, so everybody will be happy there, and they know who they are racing for. Do you think we should let them have it now, Martin? Do you think?
I don't know. I think maybe we've had enough to now. Should we just stop?
Well,
This
we
has
could
been going
just
on
stop.
way too long.
It has been. I mean, I'm missing like Coronation Street or something like that. I mean, come on. It's all that happens in
Right,
Scotland.
Yeah, I think we're ready to crack on. So we're going to start with Tier 2 then, aren't we?
We are going to start with Tier 2. So here comes the very first Tier 2 allocation. And who is it going to be? Oh, yeah, sorry, Martin.
McLaren first, I believe?
Yes, McLaren, the boys in papaya orange.
So, right, well, would you warrant it? I'm in a McLaren in Tier 2, Gav.
Oh, look! We've just seen it on the screen. Hopefully, you can see what I'm sharing, you, Martin. Actually, because if you can't, then we're going to be slightly behind.
I can't see what you're sharing. I can only see it on the stream, which obviously is behind. So, shall I do two at a time? So it's myself and Jacob again.
Yes.
We've kept the team the same. Basically, that is one of these. That is one of the situations where we actually do have two admins in the same team who both selected to keep on racing for the same team.
Yeah.
So
I am just going to do one thing though, because I'm going to share to you so you can actually see what I'm doing, because that makes it much easier. Because otherwise you're behind in the stream slightly. Fingers crossed you can see what I'm now doing.
I can now see your screen. Yes.
Brilliant. Happy days. Right. So we know the McLaren team for Tier 2. Yourself and Jacob. I mean, I've never seen that before, Martin. I mean, I've that's news to me. Like, I'm sure it wasn't the same last season.
It wasn't. You know, I think it's good to mix things up. You know, switch things around a bit and look for a new way of doing things.
Well, exactly.
So it's all change at McLaren.
It's all change at McLaren, yes, in that papaya orange, which then brings us on. Who is going to be the next one? Oh, it is the mighty Mercedes. Now, last season in the Mercedes, there was a man who likes to go hard all the time, which is Mark Hodgson, obviously. And for this, look, he's there again. He's there again, Martin. I'm sure he asked
for some reason. He seems to be the only person in the league who actually likes Mercedes. It's very odd, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure.
I personally don't have anything against Mercedes. I'm kidding. Just before you start sending nasty letters,
Michael, this is not right. No. I'm not allowed to do these things anymore. It's all good. And who is going to be joining him? Well, we are going to have.
It's going to be Frank. It's going to be Vans.
Yeah, so he was in a Red Bull last year. So he's joining the Mercedes. So he's gone from Red Bull to Mercedes. That's a bit of a driver transfer.
I'm back to seeing you, not your presentation on my screen again. By the way.
Oh, this is what happens. Right, wait a minute, 2 seconds. You're gonna see it now. You're gonna see it now. Fingers crossed.
So continuing along then, yeah?
Yes. So next team that we have, it's the boys
Alpine.
from France. Yep, it's the Alpine, and the first driver that we are going to announce for the Alpine is Grimo.
It's going to be Grimo, yeah.
So
Grimo. Alongside Grimo, we've got Womax.
Oh, so Ilian and Mark are going to form. Can you see my PowerPoint presentation just now? Martin, are you still?
I can indeed.
Happy days. So, Carl Edens has just put in the chat, Frank, it's James. No idea what reference that is to at all with that. But yeah, an Alpine, good strong lineup from them in Tier 2 with Grimo and Wumax.
Indeed, yeah. Is that a complete team change? I think that is,
I
isn't
think
it?
it is a complete team change, yeah, completely. Based upon where we were last year. For that, because actually, let's just have a quick look. Did we keep our drivers lineup? I think we did, didn't we? For Tier 2, I'm sure we did.
You both tell it
It's in
from
the
the Discord if you
Discord,
wanted
yeah.
to.
So,
Yeah.
oh no, Grimo was in the Alpine last year, and it was
Ah.
Ghetto Biggie last year in the Alpine.
Well, that's funny because that is actually completely luck of the draw. There's nobody in that
Yeah.
team who's had any influence over their seat.
No,
So
exactly. I mean,
the randomizer has drawn the sacred number of Grimo out a second time in a row. How weird.
Exactly. So I know exactly. Right,
Shall
that
we
brings us
move along?
on to it's the Alfa Romeo. It is the Kimi Räikkönen team, Alfa Romeo Racing. And last season in the Tier 2 they had Nico Lack and Harry Smith. But who do
This
we have
year,
out of the draw?
We have Morgan Stube, and we have BGR, which is Angel.
Well, this is the thing. So Morgan was in an Aston Martin last season. He's defected to the Italian Alfa Romeo. Well, they're technically not Italian. They're technically Swiss because they are Sauber. But he's went from Mercedes power to Ferrari power. So that's going to be it. And then obviously Angel coming up from Tier 3 after a well-deserved promotion there. Where last season, what was he in? Was he in an Alfa Romeo last season? I think he was, wasn't he?
That's a very distinct possibility. I mean, at the end of the day, there are going to be people who do end up back in the same teams again, because obviously only 10 choices and 20 people. So there's, luck of the draw literally does state there's going to be some people who end up back in the same teams again. But hey ho,
indeed, exactly.
Shall we do Williams next?
We will. It is the Williams, and for the Williams we have Evil Homer to start off with, and he was in a Williams last season. So he retains his position with the Williams team and is joined by Seb Mail.
And Seb is a returning driver who's been away from us for quite a few weeks, and he's very welcome back.
Exactly, he is indeed. So Williams, my beer's just overflowed. It has literally got so excited, it has just overflowed. So thank God I'm not live on camera right now, because that was most undignified what I've just done, drinking from the coaster. But anyway, we will go with it. So our next Tier 2, it's the Bulls of the Red Bull. And in terms of who we have, I think we had quite a few individuals wanting this seat in our first one.
We did, and this time round it's Dumbest Hornet, Chris Pratt, and he's actually going to be seated alongside Fanning, who's obviously our Tier 3 winner.
Yes, indeed. So again, a good strong layout from the Red Bull team there for season 6.
I have to say, I think that's shaping up to be one of the strongest teams in Tier 2, to be honest with you. I think that those guys have got a very good chance of fighting at the front, at both of them at the same time. So they're definitely one to keep an eye on.
Exactly. So that brings us nicely on to the next team, which is, it is Forza Ferrari. So the Ferraris have now, because I think Stuvine was saying, where's the Ferrari? Well, the Ferraris have arrived, and let's see who we've got out the hat first. It's Scott. He's gone from Mercedes to Ferrari. He's done a
defection.
He has done a defection.
And he's accompanied alongside him is Smith 96.
Yeah, so Smith 96 was used to the Alfa Romeo and Ferrari engine, so he moves to the parent Italian team. So really good there. Again, a good strong lineup. Scott obviously moving from Mercedes, so good from the Ferraris there. Let's see who we have up next, folks. It's the Alpha Tauri, it's the Fashion Police, who Jay Sarge represented last night in his tuxedo with a bow tie. And for those, so I have no idea why I came up with that, but so hey ho, Jay Sarge is in his tuxedo. And in the Alpha Tauri for season 6, Damalek.
And he's alongside Laupi.
Yes, indeed. So another good strong run there for the Alpha Tauri team. Last season, Alpha Tauri had Herman and Eravoy. So Loppy, do you know what? And this is really interesting. Damalek and Loppy were the driver partnership at Haas in Season 5. So they are both moving to AlphaTauri to be teammates again.
How bizarre. And again, that's one that's entirely at random, so there's nothing come into play there apart from luck.
Exactly, well that's it, exactly. Which brings us nicely on to the luck of the draw, which is the Aston Martin team, otherwise known as Jordan, Mugen Honda / Peugeot / Honda / everywhere else, to be perfectly honest. And last season we had Dumbest Hornet and Morgan, and both of those have departed to new teams. So do you want to reveal who we've got at Aston Martin?
Yeah, well, we've got our runner-up from Tier 3, Red Car Rambo. So Ryan is going to Aston Martin alongside Nico Lack.
That's going to be a really strong lineup. Red Car Rambo did, of course, Ryan did add his northeastern independent team called Marlborough Red Car last night. Didn't last that long though, unfortunately for him. I think it fell to bits. Did that car. But he's going to be interesting. But he's driving a Mercedes powered car. I'm sure he didn't want a Ferrari though, so he's got his wish.
Yeah, I can't say it was high on his wish list.
No, so, it really wasn't.
As the runner-up, I mean, basically winners get first choice, runners-up get to nominate 3 teams, and we make one of those 3 work for them.
Yep. Ryan says he's happy with that. So we've made him happy. He was a very unhappy man yesterday, but he is a happy man tonight. Now,
well, that just leaves us one team, doesn't it?
I know. Funnily enough, who is that team? Oh, it's the American Haas. Yeah, and the first driver out of the hat for them is Electric Envy. Dario is going to be obviously with the American name, Dario Franchitti. I'm just naming people random names now, and he's going to be joined by
Tibica.
A Tibica, exactly. It's a Tibica tonight, folks.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've just heard that Ghetto Biggie, who's been driving with us for quite some time, has had a change of class times. He basically is doing language courses, and he now has to do a language course that unfortunately ties right in with the time that we race at. So we have actually sent out a few emails today, direct messages rather, to a few people today, asking them whether they want that seat. But weirdly, when I last checked, I haven't heard back from any of them.
Is that because it's a Haas?
I think it might be because there's so much chaff happening on the chat at the moment with people talking about what's going on. I think it's probably got missed, to be honest with you. But we will be sorting that out tomorrow, I'm sure.
We will indeed. So that brings us to what can only be described as the Tier 2 lineup. So to run through again, going to the tax haven in Switzerland will be Angel and Morgan. Morgan's decided that he doesn't want to race for the James Bond Aston Martin anymore. He is going to Switzerland. In the AlphaTauri, we have the Haas pairing last year of Damalek and Loppe. Popping across the English Channel is Mark and Ilian for the Alpine team, formerly Benetton, but for Aston Martin with the pink Mercedes, Ryan and Nico Lack. The Ferrari Italians have kidnapped Scott. He's gone from Stuttgart to Italy, and he is joined by Harry, moving on from Alfa Romeo. Dario and Tibica is going to be in the Haas. McLaren, well, no change there. Surprise, surprise. I could put my Cilla Black. Surprise, surprise.
I reckon that's gone over the heads of at least 50% of the audience of this stream.
Well, I know. It will have done, because ultimately no one will know who Cilla Black is or surprise, surprise. But if you are not from the UK and you wish to understand who this random person is, the surprise, surprise, Cilla Black, Google her, you will find out. We then got Mark in the Mercedes and Frank in the Mercedes. So
I just got this image of people Googling Cilla Black and being so disappointed.
Well, we'll see, to be fair. I mean, I think they're going to probably look and go, oh, is that it? And then they'll Google her singing career and go, oh, is that it? Although, to be fair, as I said, the accents don't get any better than this, folks, to be perfectly honest. Dak Invertibles just went surprise, surprise. He knows what we mean. Dumbest Hornet and Fanning, Chris and Thomas are in the Red Bull, and it is the Williams pairing of Evil Homer and Seb Mayo. So Sander and Seb Mayo go into Tier 2. So Tier 2 Williams and Tier 2 have all been announced, folks. So what does that bring us on to?
Let's dive on in, shall we?
Oh, yeah. So the first team out of the hat in Tier 1, folks. Oh, it's the Ferraris. Oh, they were champions in Tier 1 last season. So who are they going to have again?
I nearly read out the wrong list then. I was about to say Scott.
Well, let's put it this way. And they'll see it. J Sarge retains his seat at Ferrari. Apparently, he did just enough last season to retain his drive. The Ferraris have high expectations, but he has retained his seat, and he is going to be joined by Connor. So that's going to be an interesting lineup for the Ferraris.
Yeah, Connor had a bit of a mixed season. I'm guessing he's going to want to have a bit more of a settled time with his second season in Tier 1.
Yep.
But those two guys, you've certainly got one guy who's clearly right at the front every single time we head out of the box, and someone else there who can score points every time round. So that's a very capable team right there.
That's it. And Connor went from the French to the Italian, so he's hopped across the Alps. He's hopped across the Alps, apparently, to join the Ferraris. But that brings us then nicely on to the second team for this evening.
Aston Martin.
Aston Martin. And last season in Tier 1, they had Mike and Chris in. Now, I'd be surprised if Mike wasn't in Aston Martin. Are you going to surprise me?
Well, not particularly, because both those guys are admins, so they both requested that seat again. So there we go. we have our second continued pairing so far.
Exactly. So I can come back to the surprise. No, it's not surprise. Scylla, back in the cage. That sounds really wrong.
Is that what was sticking out from under your bed? It wasn't a pile of magazines. It was a Scouse lady in her 80s.
Well, she's 6 foot under. I don't think she'd be much of a looker these days. Anyway, moving on from that. Third team to come out of the hat in Tier 1. Oh, it's the Alfa Romeos. And last season,
there.
Stringy B and Ugoni was last season, but this season
it's Reese and Ugoni.
Yeah, so Ugoni stays at Alfa Romeo. He's looking forward to it. And Reese obviously was my teammate at McLaren last season and has went to Alfa Romeo. So that's going to be an interesting one to see where we are. Just having a look at some of the comments as we go through as well.
Aston Martin, the same, mind blown.
Yeah,
that was one of the comments I just saw pop up.
Yeah, exactly. Dak Invertibles made a comment, which we'll just move over. But following Alfa Romeo, we are on to the Red Bull team. And who have we got for Red Bull in Tier 1 this season, Martin?
Well, we've got our wild card Alex alongside Benjamin van den Emster, who's G-Star Snipes.
Yeah, so Alex, quick man, came up, won the last 3 races of Tier 2 last season. So he is going to be fast in that Red Bull. And I think he raced in a Red Bull last night at the Silverstone Invitational. So he's used to that Honda-powered Red Bull by now.
You've got to think that's a really strong pairing as well, actually, haven't you?
It is, yeah. I mean, G-Star took that win in Spain last season in terms of it, and he was in Red Bull last season as well, actually. So he remains in Red Bull. So Christian Horner happy with that. Next team, back over to the French for some baguettes and some baton fights. And last season it was Rob, Mr. Clean himself, and Connor. Now, obviously, Connor has moved on, but I have a sneaky suspicion, Martin, that Rob may still be continuing in that Alpine.
Well, Rob, very much like the real Alpine team, is having significant technical issues this week, which hopefully he's going to get sorted out by the first race. But yes, he is back in that seat, albeit without any pedals.
That'll be helpful.
I don't know whether that's going to make him quicker or slower. And he's joined by the rather amazing last night Kid Dynamite.
Yeah,
Dean.
19th to 1st last night and made me squeal on the final lap. Let's put it that way, when he beat J Sarge by 0.191 seconds It literally was that tight. So that's going to be another good, strong pairing. Rob, Mr. Clean, as we see.
There were parts of that commentary last night when that was happening that were only audible by my dog. It really was something else at the end.
Yeah, I've not got to that bit yet. I think I only got about halfway through the race, so I'll need to go back to that point. But yeah, so Alpine, a good strong lineup there, good quick drivers. Rob, Mr. Clean, does definitely make up places at the tail end of the race, which is always good. Who does that bring us on to now? Ooh,
AlphaTauri.
And who do we have for AlphaTauri?
Well, we have Guy.
So tier 2 champion from last season.
So he obviously got a free choice as a champion, and he's joined by a runner-up, Ofach.
Oh, tier 1 runner-up. So Ofach was it the Aston? No, it was in Haas last season. So he's jumped from America over to Italy. He decided that he likes the beer better in Italy. He's basically doing what J Sarge did last night. He's going for the fashion, going for the tuxedo.
Well, it certainly isn't for the beer, because if you're moving from an American team to an Italian team, and neither of those can make beer.
Well, Czech Republic's the best, but there's no Czech teams. So apparently, Odak Invertibles just went Guy, my guy. That I'm sure that was a song out of Sister Act.
I believe it was also a movie starring Macaulay Culkin.
Who? Was he the one that had a really successful sort of early years and then kind of disappeared and then came back again?
Indeed. Has many brothers who were all in movies.
Yes, exactly. Andrew says AlphaTauri, wow, and J Sarge. Oh, J Sarge is here. A strong team, and it is indeed a strong team. Talking about strong teams, it's 2 Haas for tier 1. And
Haas definitely is looking like a strong team, to be honest with you, because Haas this season is going to be Nick BT and Herman.
Yeah, so Herman was really quick in times last season. He was in the AlphaTauri last season. So again, and Nick was quick there as well. So again, really strong lineups there at the moment.
Yeah, Herman obviously being a wildcard promotion because of the phenomenal pace he was showing, even though he hadn't attended all the races, so it wasn't really there in the points. His individual race performance was just staggering.
They were indeed. Alpha. Let's just see what they're saying. Lineup, Andrew's going, the lineups are insane. Oh, so this is what randomizer gives you, folks, even although we started 45 minutes after we wanted. But from Haas, we then move on to the mighty Mercedes. And who have we got in the Mercedes?
Well, we have a promotion from tier 2, which is Monster.
Oh, so he's moved from Red Bull to Mercedes. I will be honest. That has put the cat amongst the proverbial pigeons, because he has went from Red Bull. I thought he was red. I mean, if you cut him open, not that I'm saying we should cut Andrew open at all, but it would have been Red Bull came out of him, and he's moved to Mercedes.
He has. Well, do you know who's even more Red Bull? Because Ollie Racing's in a Mercedes as well.
This is right. Wait a minute here, right? Because this is breaking news, and then if any of those remembered my breaking news, ding. This is a very strong lineup, but I will be honest. What on earth? These 2 drivers were Red Bull Academy drivers, and have basically just went to Total Wolf and got a seat with them. Strong lineup though. Really strong.
That's 2 really quick guys in the same car there, isn't it? Well, not the same car. That would obviously be inconvenient.
Well, one of them could sit on top of the Halo.
Maybe they could have one of those old Arrows things. The 3-seaters. Maybe we could get 3 people in one. Yeah,
we could do. Or the McLaren was the 2-seater.
It was, but you couldn't see anything out of the back of it, could you?
Well, that is true. Dak Invertible has just went. There's a bit of meow from him, and then Ryan says, "Dear me, Ollie, what's going on here then?" And Mark Hodgson, our tier 1 joint and tier 3 commentators, seen the light, fellas. Join me away from the dark side. Yes, we'll just move on from that.
Let's move to the best team.
Yes, it's the McLarens. And apparently there is a shock here. Do we want to touch on the other one, not the other one, if you know what I mean?
The other one.
Yeah.
Well, we have it's like, right, Hilbert Borger,
Yes.
whose
Rapid.
name seems to change from ierappel to ierappel
Well,
depending on
this is
what
it.
context we're
I
in.
just call him Lirapel. But to
Yeah.
be fair, after last night where I just gave everybody else different names, it wouldn't surprise me if I just called him like Rapid. Or actually, wait a minute. Was there not Oh no, that's Hillman. That's the car company. Actually, I might just call him Hillman from now on. It's just easier.
Well, they
than
famously
Hilbert.
made NIMP.
Well, yes, that is true. So if
This is turning into word association all of a sudden.
it really is. Now, here's a question for you, Martin. Who is joining this driver at McLaren?
Of a steady, sturdy pair of hands who is not to be underestimated. Who's going to step out of the shadows?
Oh, the shadows into the light. He will be the Dark Knight, apparently.
Go on to press the button.
Ta-da! Wait a minute, breaking news. Da-da-ding. Zach Brown has retained my services for a year. God help him. Shall is all we'll say. But yeah, another good lineup for the McLaren team. Trying to go for what was it? 3? Did we won the constructors in tier 2 and tier 3? So we just need to win it in tier 1 this season.
Yeah, that's do you know what? I'd forgotten about that. I'd forgot.
Yeah.
We should have had an additional celebration for the fact
We should
that
have done.
But yeah.
Should
Well, you wouldn't have been entitled to celebrate. You didn't win.
No. Well, I finished third in a race. I made a pair of intermediates last 30 odd laps, and then that was it. It was happy. I helped G Star win.
You did. You did.
What else have we got just on the chat before we move on? But we'll just run down to. Oh no, we've got Williams. Sorry.
Oh yeah, don't forget about Williams.
Oh, let's not forget about the Williams. They've
got a strong pairing at Williams as well.
Yeah. Who do we have? The first one out of the. Oh, it's David Bailey, the fashion photographer. He's about 80 years old though, so he's doing well as David Bailey to get in that car. But Chris is there, so that's a good lineup from him. And who do we have else?
It's the Slayer.
Oh, that is going to be a very strong lineup. David Bailey and the Slayer. Ultimately, to be fair, funnily enough, Ryan just asked, "Where is David Bailey?" So
I just got asked whether I burned you live on the stream.
Yes.
I didn't really mean to. It was just a bit of jest.
Exactly. This is all good. I've no idea. I just take it in good jest. That's always the thing. But yeah, David Bailey and Anand the Slayer. So from tier 1's perspective, that is how it lines up. Reese and Damiano in the Alfa Romeo, Tanguy and Leo in the AlphaTauri, Rob and Dean in the Alpine, Chris and Mike in the Aston Martin. I was about to call it an Alpha Martin. Jason and Connor are in the Ferrari. I think Jason should maybe go to a Haas for season 7 or something. Give the rest a fighting chance. Nick and William in the Haas. Hilbert, Hillman, and me in the McLaren. We've got 2 Red Bull defectors. It's a bit like kind of the Russians defecting to the British back in the Cold War. They've defected, Andrew and Ollie. Alex has decided to fill his boots at Red Bull along with Ben, and David Bailey, otherwise known as Chris, and Anand go into tier 1 in the Williams. That brings us on to tier 3, Martin.
It does indeed.
And
where should we start off in tier 3?
Well, we are going to start off we're starting off at Alfa Romeo in tier 3.
Now, tier 3 is a bit different because we have a lot of fresh blood in tier 3.
Yes.
Because of the fact that 3 people moved down to tier 4, and we've had a lot of people. We've had obviously people move up into tier 2, and we've actually had a couple of people move out as well. So
it's the movers and shakers, is what you're saying.
It is. I mean, I think we've got 9 new names in tier 3.
It's half the grid.
So it is. So the first team here which we have is both new names, which are Bergen.
Oh, it's the Bergen. It's the man from Markham who likes to go cockle picking.
And Monstergazer.
Oh, so Gareth goes from he was in a Ferrari last night, but Bergen and Monstergazer. So the man from Morecambe has went to Switzerland to do a bit of international relations. So good lineup from them. Who else do we have coming through? Oh, we're at the favourite team, the papaya-powered McLaren.
We are indeed. And in McLaren, we have Connor.
Oh, yep. And then we have...
He's joined by Jesse, Jam.
Oh, Jam. I'm literally just going to have to go Jam, because I can't go Jam 201597. I mean, it's bad enough with Connor H9998. I mean, it's just confusing me.
I wonder what kind of jam he prefers.
It's
a new subject to discuss in session.
This is it. I mean,
what's your favourite? What's the
favourite
confection
jam?
of choice in the country in which you're visiting?
Well, see, to be fair, we were going to use local attractions this season, but we may actually have to use local jams as well. Local attractions, I'll use the attractions term loosely, especially with the way that Alex likes to go to attractions.
Monster Gaza says he's happy with that in the chat.
Oh, there we go. He is a happy man, which is always good. So that brings us on nicely to the Italian Red Stallion team. And who do they have?
We have another new driver, I should say, which is Collins Owl, who is Calvin Mack.
Yeah, that's going to really confuse me, by the way. His name's Calvin, and he's going Collins Owl. I mean, what did Calvin's Owl offend him?
And who is Colin, and why does he have an owl?
Well, this is the thing. I was about to say, what do owls do? They go, doo doo, goo goo.
Or is Calvin the owl that belongs to Connor? That's Colin. Oh my God! Connor is Colin's owl. What?
So hello. Connor is Colin's owl, belonging to Calvin, and he's in a Ferrari. I mean, the mind boggles, shall we say? But yeah, Calvin, please tell us about Colin and his owl, and is he? Oh, Jam just says he likes strawberry jam, Martin. So that's all.
Yeah, I like a strawberry jam. I had a bit of strawberry jam in PBJ this morning, actually.
There you go. And don't like peanut butter. Who else do we have in the Ferrari? We have
Ocean Tame.
Yes, Aston Martin came in halfway through the season last season.
He did. He was a really good teammate to Carl, wasn't he?
He was indeed. Funnily enough, we've not yet got to the Inspector Wing Benderer that is Inspector Carlos, but we will in due course.
I think I've forgotten to put him in.
Oh, damn, what a shame.
We'll give him a bicycle. It'll be all right.
Yeah, that's true. Well, funnily enough, here is his team. I did hear that he had fallen out with Lawrence Stroll, but I heard that they were making up for it in the hospitality regime after he was... Carl apparently was saying lots of bad things about Lawrence and Lance, but apparently he said, give me a drive. Well,
I was hoping we were going to get another one of those hostage-style videos from Lawrence Stroll where he sits with a mask on with his ears bent in a weird way in a darkened room, saying about how unhappy he is about things.
To be fair, that probably brings us nicely to the little Blofeld gif that I put on earlier on with me stroking the cat. I promise I'm not going to get myself into trouble tonight with saying words that I really shouldn't. That just brings us on to things. So
Let's get on with this.
Yes, who do we have in Aston Martin?
We have Simon Pratt.
He's from Scotland.
He's called Skirper.
Skirper 5806. SGPR. I'm going to have to change that name as well because it's just too long. SG_per. And joining him in the Aston Martin, is it Carl Edens?
It is
not. Damn.
It's Taylor Dawn.
He's back. Tete Mandem.
He is. So that's obviously, I mean, he's obviously been out for a little while and come back.
He has indeed. Funnily enough, when I think he raced, and I can't remember if it was practice or that, I just kept calling him Tete Tandem. I can't do Tete Mandem, so I've just decided Tete Tandem, that is your name, Taylor. So Tete. I could just call him Tete. There we go. Anyway, sorry, moving on. Williams in Tier 3. And who do we have? Out the hat first. We have
Tom Brown.
So Tom Brown has went from Alpine last season, I think it was. So he's gone to Williams. So he's decided he wanted to come back to the Brits.
And this is going to become commentators' confusion corner because Tom is joined by Tom.
Oh, so we've got double Tom action.
Tom squared.
Tom squared. Tom Brown and Tomo222. So it's literally Tom Delight is what it is. So there we are, and Tom Brown just goes, "Go on then, lads." So Tom Brown and Tomo 222 are the Williams Tom team. There we go. Call them the Tom team. That's even
So that
more.
takes.
Yeah.
That's it's going to take some getting your head around, isn't it?
It is. Here is Alpha Tauri though.
Actually, do you know what? It simplifies things because you don't ever have to think about it. If it's a Williams, just say, "There's Tom."
There's Tom, exactly. There's Tom, yeah. Tom Thumb. Tom Thumb, otherwise known as Rom. Tom Brown's
AlphaTauri then.
Yeah. Alpha Tauri, we have Avinash.
So Avinash was with us in season 1, believe it or not. And he had some pretty horrific connection issues and has been waiting a very, very, very long time for an upgrade. So he's
got
finally back with us. But
yes,
Avinash has the capability of being extremely quick once he gets himself back up to speed again. So there's one to watch. He's a dark horse.
Yep, and he is joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Kaiser Soze.
And Kaiser Soze actually is a man, a myth, and a legend in the film. So that was a appropriate choice of words.
It is indeed. Brings us on to the Silver Arrows of Mercedes. And who do we have first for Mercedes?
We have Stuvine.
Ooh, he's been commenting throughout the chat. So he is on a Mercedes-Benz. And who's he going to be joined with?
And he is teamed with Ty Clear.
So there's Tyrone. Just call him Ty. Although, to be fair, every time I see Clear, I think of John Deere tractors. No idea why. Word association.
I suppose a C and an L next to each other are kind of vaguely like a reverse D, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Mark's already said... Mark's put on commentary on the chat, "Oh, come on now, how am I meant to commentate on that now?" And then he goes, "It's Tom." "No, Tom, we'll wait, Tom." There we go. All good. So who does that leave us? We've got Haas now, the American team. And who do we have in Haas?
We have a new name in Haas, which is SFR Energy Dan. We've seen him on track, but this is his first permanent seat.
He did indeed. So he is there in the Haas, and he is going to be joined by
Boothie.
Yeah, so Dan. Oh, God. Do you know what? It's Dan and Dan. Right, I'm going to just put this out here just now. Mark, if you need coverage for Tier 3, happy to do it for commentary, but I'm changing everyone's names because we've literally got Tom and Tom, Dan and Dan. All we need now is a Carl and a Carl. No.
Maybe you could call them Danagy and Doofy.
Danagy and Doofy. Wait a minute. Was there not a? I'm going to show my age here. Was it a scary movie? Was there a Doofus? I don't know. Anyway, no, let's not go there.
You've lost me on that one. I don't really remember the scary movie very well.
Exactly. We'll move on from that one. We have the Bulls now in the Red Bull. And who do we have in the Red Bull?
We have a certain Mr. Edens.
Well, I am astonished. Astonished is all I'm going to say. I can't. Actually, no. To be fair, what could Red Bull bought out Jaguar, who were Styert. Oh, that's fine. I can tease him on that on Tier 2 next season. Officer Doofy, that was it. Mark's just thingied it in Scary Movie. Officer Doofy. So Mark, there you go. Doofy and Dan. There you go. Anyway, who's the second driver at Red Bull?
The second driver alongside Carl is Mark Simba.
The Lion King. We stand above in the mountainous regions, hold him aloft, our head steward, showing him to the crowd who cheer. So yeah, Carl the wing benderer is actually going to be in the team that likes to bend wings. So, interesting.
Incredibly appropriate.
Exactly. Who do we have next? It is the French Alpine, and who do we have there?
We have J. Kane, the convertible.
Ooh, the convertible.
And he is next to George Ross, the Manugio.
Always did struggle with that. I think you told me that actually the Manugio is it Spanish for mango or something?
It's very close.
Yeah, I might just have to call him Mango. to be fair. That convertible, I'll just call him convertible, which we always do, and the mango. Apparently, Mark's just said Carl's to keep his hands in his pockets. Yeah,
I'd be very suspicious if Carl's walking around with his hands in his pockets all the time, to be fair.
Exactly. Activity going on. And that brings us to the end of Tier 3, which is there. We've got Kyle and Gareth in the Alfa Romeo. We've got Avinash and Steve in the Alfa Tauri. We've got Jay and George in the Alpine. We've got Simon and Taylor in the Aston Martin. Calvin and Stephen in the Ferrari. We've got Daniel and Dan in the Haas. We've got Connor and Jesse in the McLaren. We've got Styert. I don't know why I went Stuart and Tyrone in the Mercedes. We've got Inspector Wingbenderer and the Lion King in the Red Bull, and we've got Tomba and Tomda. Even that's too close. Oh, we just need to call them Brown and Druitt, although no, we're not going to use Druitt. In the Williams. So again, good strong lineups throughout the field there.
Yeah, no, I think actually the funny thing is a lot of these teams have actually worked out quite nicely in terms of balance.
They have.
I was thinking that as they sort of came out of the hat, I was like, actually, that's fair play. That I think that's going to be create another tight constructors battle.
Exactly, and that is it. And then nicely brings us on to our Tier 4, which were announced after the Bahrain Invitational last week, and that is just a recollection of where we are. So Marsan and Carl, Baldy, as I'll call them, in the Alfa Romeo. We've got Kieran and Luke in the Alfa Tauri. We've got Alex and Koos in the Alpine. We've got Sheeran and Lewis Kellogg, as I'll call him, in the Aston Martin. We've got Vince Vaughn, otherwise known as Vince Van Noorden, in the Ferrari. Daniel Wicks in the Ferrari with him. Doug and Melvin have just come back from America. We've got Zach and Ali in the McLaren. We've got Philip and Marcus McCluskey, the Glaswegian gangster, in the Mercedes. Well, it suits him, to be fair. The gangsters do like a Mercedes. We've got Branimir Kapitanov and Matthew in the Red Bull, and Jonathan and Terry in the Williams. So, well, I was going to say that concludes the draw for what has been an eventful evening.
That's one way of putting it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Another way would be highly dubious skills being displayed publicly for half an hour.
Well, that's true. To be fair, it was displaying very, very problematic skills for half an hour, but at least we got there in the end. I think everyone has enjoyed it, and I think the key is, as always, we do try and do a couple of different things. We've tried a few things this season. Hopefully this has worked well for people, and obviously in the Discord do let us know what you thought of it. I think that's the key thing. If people liked it, now we know how to do it. We can do it successfully again for season 7. But a lot to do before season 7. Lots of races to be had starting on Monday.
Yeah. So obviously we've got the first practice session of the new season. I saw earlier on was fully booked already. So which obviously will be that's very, very imminent. So it's kind of we're back into the normal kind of regular sort of week to week shape of things now. All of a sudden, it seems like forever since we last had a race.
I know, and it was only last Monday, last Wednesday, I think it was. Yeah.
Was it? It seems like about a month ago.
No, we are all there. That's definitely kind of where we are, which is always good. But yeah, in Holland, Monday night, 7 PM Tier 2, 8:45 Tier 1, and then next Wednesday, Tier 3 at 7:30, and Tier 4, our newly formed Tier 4, starts at 8:45 next week. So again, good to see on that side of things. But Martin, thank you very much for putting up with me for the last hour and a half.
Has it only been an hour and a half?
It's only been an hour and a half. I'm convinced I'm not divorced by this point, but considering I did promise the other half, it would only be half an hour.
That was optimistic.
It was. I wasn't anticipating the technical challenges which have captured us tonight. But yes, as with everything, everyone, do just Alex in his comments, he's just put. Alex says for season 7 girls in a bikini finally. not quite sure we can stretch to that, to be fair. But yeah, so Martin, thank you very much for this evening. I've just seen some comments that Mark's put.
Thanks for everything that you've done tonight, because you worked very hard to kind of stick this all together. And it's just a shame the technical gremlins got the better of it. Because without that, it would have all. If it had run seamlessly, people would have been like, "Wow, these guys have really got their stuff together."
Exactly. But do you know what we'll do is we'll just delete part 1. And we'll just keep part 2 on the stream.
There was no part 1, was there?
No, there wasn't. There was just the random chat of life. So yeah, we'll get rid of that video though. We'll delete it. But yes, no, thank you very much for what has been a great evening. All the drivers now know who they are racing for. They have been wanting this for a week, so they've got it now. And we will we'll likely do it again for season 7. But yes, thank you very much, Mr. House. I will see you out on track in the next couple of days.
You will, yeah. It suddenly dawned on me this afternoon, sort of in the middle of trying to sort all this stuff out. I was like, oh, hang on, I should be practicing by now. It's Tuesday. What's going on? I haven't forgotten to do any practicing.
Exactly.
So yeah, I better do that tomorrow, wouldn't I?
Yeah, better go and practice. That's it. I might try and do that. I might have to do some work though, to be fair. I had to give it up to make these graphics all work and everything. But obviously, let's just also say big shout out to you for the randomised draw. Big shout out to Mike in terms of the graphics, and Rob also for the graphics that you've seen with the drivers in it as well. It's not just a one-man band. Everybody puts their bits into it. So a big thanks to everybody, and obviously a big thanks to everybody who has tuned in for the last hour and a half and seen the calamitous activity that has gone on for the first part, and then the non-calamitous activity for the second part. But yes, you all know who you're going to be racing for next season, so when you come to practice sessions, then get involved. As I said, give us all the feedback on the Discord. It always helps us. I think most people, if not all, have said actually it's been good, bar the technical gremlins, but it's a good entertaining way to do it, so we will no doubt continue it.
Yeah, and also just as a side note, everybody, when they now look at their profile in Discord, should now have the correct tier against their name as well. So they should. Yeah. So everybody, basically, when we tag tier 3 drivers, for example, if you're one of our tier 3 drivers that we've just confirmed into a seat tonight, you should show up in green on Discord and blah 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 blah. So everyone should be allotted the right roles in Discord for the new season.
There we go. Absolutely perfect. Cool. So, as I said, thank you very much to everybody for watching. Thank you to you, Martin. Thank you to Mike and to Rob as well for the graphics. We will depart just now to allow everybody some time back in their diaries. But yes, thank you very much, sir. And we will see you all on track in just a couple of days.
See you soon, guys.
Right. Cheers. Take care, everybody. There we go.